Okay, welcome all to another Vancast. Hopefully this is working okay for you guys. Today I'm going to quickly discuss, relatively speaking, right? Discuss food pyramids and vegetarianism versus meat eating. And then just look at a quick exceptional pyramid on coral reefs is kind of interesting. And then you guys will get one question in which you must use the concepts of GPP, gross primary productivity, or net primary productivity, also known as biomass, which is what usually scientists use that word when they're talking about ecological stuff. And 10% available energy or biomass, whichever way you want to do it, to the next highest trophic level when explaining your answer. We'll get to that. Okay, so let's just start with, okay, you guys I think know where to find your stuff, right? In OneNote, Biosphere, I call it now assignments and resources, okay? The syllabus on top with little points there, that's kind of a summary. Then we had the old questions, which we're not worried about now. Mind map of the biosphere, we'll get to that later. Some other good ecosystem videos with what's on them, and then here's those same ones with mind maps to help you if you want to look something up or for some assignment. And then population ecology also with Bozeman Science, all important and fantastic PowerPoints from a well-respected and generous environmental management teacher. Today we'll look at energy flow a little bit, a couple of points. These are all good. Yesterday you should have used this biomes. And on we go. So I also wanted to mention, right, reviewing previous notes and information is an expectation. I'm expecting you to go back and look stuff up. Okay, I'm not expecting you just to look and, oh, I know the answers. No, not at all. All right. First, discuss food pyramids. Okay, so we're going to go to this PowerPoint. And then I made a Word doc. Okay, so energy flow. So this is our food pyramid. Okay, available. Next up is 10% of what's below. I don't think this shows it as well as I would like. So let's go to the next one. Oh, there's my 15-month-old. You can have a pyramid by numbers, but that's never really used. Okay, energy pyramid. Here we go. Now we're seeing 10%. Available to the next highest level. We do not have decomposers here, which I wish they included. That's missing sometimes, and it's really important. Bacteria, fungus, things like that. Okay, next one. Pyramid of biomass, NPP, net primary productivity. This is what scientists usually kind of use. And here we go, producers, and they included decomposers here, which is more than the primary consumers, herbivores, right? And secondary consumers here, tertiary consumers here, but less than the producers, which I have to kind of wonder about that, but I guess that's true. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure there's more available here in some. There's more decomposers available in some systems. Okay, so that is our classic pyramids. We should be familiar with that. I think that is all I'm looking for there. Now, my vegetarianism, meat eating trophic levels. Okay, so I made this little Word doc because on that slide, they have a mistake, in my opinion. Let's see, where are you, Mr. V? Is it there? Oh, I can't find it. But they have one here, this one. Okay, they're not showing how much extra energy it takes to go. If you're a vegetarian and you're a primary consumer, it's pretty direct, relatively efficient. But if we start eating meat, for those calories that we consume, we're becoming the next trophic level or a secondary consumer. and that adds a lot of resources to produce that pound of beef, or less so for chicken and pigs, but beef is especially voracious consumer. Okay, so I feel like this was not well illustrated. Oh, time. So I made this. I had to think about it for a while. So I made this. So look at the top here. So this is a vegetarian trophic energy pyramid, more or less. Okay. So I don't know if it's exactly 10 times, but so pretending these are people. Okay. Now imagine those are billions of people. Okay. And this is the amount, could be NPP or GPP, but we're just using NPP. That's what they eat. Okay, these billions of people. Now, and here's a classic with no detritivores, no detritivores there again. Anyway, so then now let's make it so that a trophic energy pyramid, if some meat is added to the diet. So we have the same amount of people, imagining billions of people, but 1/3 of their diet is meat, which is the average American diet. Is 1/3 of our diet is meat. Okay, so for each proportion of meat that's added, there must be a 10 times addition to the plant's first trophic level. Okay, that feeds the meat eaters. So when we're making 1/3 of what we eat meat, that has to use resources. It's a meat, cows and chickens and everything are secondary consumers. I mean primary consumers. So this is the amount of stuff, 10 times this amount is the amount of stuff that they have to eat. And there's not even room here to make it 10 times more. And more room is required. So this illustrates how much extra resources are needed in terms of NPP here, the biomass of the plants that we have to produce, farm. That is how much extra happens. Okay, so here I say meat requires a massive amount of extra land, water, farm crops for feeding, a lot of water for agriculture and land. Also, the effects of more fertilizers, water consumption, right? Groundwater. Remember we saw in the Ogallala, that guy, the father was about ready to, he was in tears because he knew he couldn't pass on his farming legacy to his children, because they sucked up all the water in the aquifer. And also surface water, that would be more in the Colorado River. Air pollution from fertilizers and fertilizer production. Fertilizer production puts a lot of CO2 in the air, and fertilizer itself actually produces a lot of particulate matter in the air. Herbicides and more. Costs are huge. Okay. Oh, by the way, for this fertilizer and fertilizer production, Florida, we produce tons. A lot of the phosphorus for fertilizer around the world is produced here, not far from where we live. Okay, so that hopefully covers that. Hopefully what I wrote here kind of just reinforces what I said. And that will be it for today, people. And the assignment will be online.